Welcome back to The Grind. In this video, we are going to talk about the details of this new HP Attack Rune limited time branch that is coming today. It should be available this afternoon in-game and is only available for this week during this next PvP event. There is a new rune that will be available, and we will go into details of what the costs are and all the prizes that are within, as well as discuss the free glyph that is available for each class. Now, on the forums, PG Galileo did finally give us the details of this. He held us in suspense for quite some time. Really, it was less than 24 hours, I think, or about 24 hours. But it is nice to see this information so we can have some time to look at it and evaluate it before the branch hits in game. So let's take a look at the runes first, and then we'll talk a bit about the other rewards in the line. So the epic rune will give 2% HP or 2% attack with a secondary of 1.5% of the other. Now, the legendary will you'll either get 4% attack and 2% HP, or 4% HP and 2% attack. And then the mythic rune, again, and this will be for each of the classes. You can choose which path you would like to take, but you can choose between 6% HP and 3% attack, or 6% attack and 3% HP. So it's nice that they give you the choice of which you want to be primary and which you want to be secondary. And it's also nice that you can pick any or all of the classes of Hunter, Sorcerer, and Warrior. Unfortunately, they do not have an option for the Invokers, which is kind of disappointing. Now, is this rune going to be of value? Now, that is pretty debatable. If you don't have anything else available to use on your dragons, then this is a rune that might be useful, more particularly useful for for sorcerers or warriors. But at the same time, the seasonal dragon divines that come from the season give other runes and glyphs that are better than these ones, and there are several other runes in the game that are beneficial. Now, like Rage, for example, is one that is very useful. It is always nice to have a Rage secondary as well if you have a good rune. But these are decent runes, actually. And I think as far as the rune itself goes, excluding glyphs, this is the better option as far as getting the most out of the attack or HP primary stat. And we have never before seen HP and attack on the same rune. So this is new and unique, and for those who don't have better options, it might be useful, but it might also be a little bit too expensive to be worthwhile. So let's take a look at all the other rewards in the line and how much it all costs. Now, as a branch as a whole and the rewards within, it's not terrible. There is a lot of rune dust available in this branch, and this is what each of the 3 branches will look like. There will be one that you can start on a sorcerer, hunter, and warrior, and you do not have to finish one to do the other. So you can do the first couple nodes or rewards from each of the branches if you would like to. Now, the very first one that is available is a Dragon HP plus Dark Flak Resist Epic Glyph. And I believe that is going to be specific to each class that of the branch that you take. And then you will have, as the second node, you'll be able to choose, or you'll be able to claim 1.5 million rune dust for 200 sigils. That is quite a significant amount of rune dust. And you can actually do this on all 3 branches. So for 600 sigils, you can get 4.5 million rune dust. So that's a lot of rune dust. I think a lot of players will take advantage of this because a lot of people are really short on rune dust. And because of this, I might actually just go and level up some runes and claim this, because I think I might be getting close to max rune dust because I just don't spend mine. I don't feel like I need the added benefit of runes most of the time. I just invest in 1 or 2 runes for each of my dragons for the most part. Anyways, the next node is 25 sigils. Or chisels, I'm sorry, for 200 sigils. Now, this is not a terrible option either. It's not quite as good of a deal as we have seen in some prior branches, but there are very limited ways of getting chisels. So if you don't have enough and you need some, there is an option for you. And then the epic rune is 100 sigils, and that allows you to continue moving down to the next prizes, including, unfortunately, we have XP potions for 300 sigils. Which I'm not sure how much XP those would give. I think it might depend on the level of your account. But after that is 2.5 million rune dust for 300 sigils. Now, in order to get to that node, you have to spend, what is it, 1,100, I think, sigils in order to get to that. And if you only look at it as rune dust, that's 1,100 sigils to get 4 million rune dust. So you'll have to decide for yourself if you feel like that is a worthwhile investment, especially if you've already claimed the first 1.5 million from all 3 of those branches. So there is a lot of rune dust to be claimed from this branch, and if you're going to go through it all the way, you're just going to get the nice chunk of rune dust without having to worry about it too much. After that is 50 chisels for 400 sigils. And then 5 free silver chests. That's not really that many silver chests, but it is free. So that is a nice little thing to pick up along the way. Then you have the legendary rune, and then XP potions, and then 5 million rune dust for 500 sigils. Again, pretty good deal on the rune dust if you're going through the line anyways. Then you have 15 mega potions for 500 sigils, and finally the mythic rune, and you have your choice of what you want the primary secondary stats to be, and then that one costs 1,200 sigils. And then after that, you have a repeatable node, it looks like, up to 10 times, where you can choose for 100 sigils if you want 500,000 rune dust or 10 chisels. Now, that isn't quite as good of value as the first couple nodes of the chisels and rune dust, but as a repeatable option at the end, that is quite nice. Now, overall, this whole branch, I think it's just under 5,000 sigils. I think about 4,700 sigils, and depending on how you calculate value, I think that the rune dust and chisels overall are about worth half of that. So half of the sigils that you spend on this line are basically paying for the rune dust and chisels, which means the other half, so about 2,300 sigils, is what you're paying for the runes. Now, if you feel like you're going to get value out of the legendary and mythic runes, then maybe that couple thousand sigils is worth it for you. The main thing to think about, though, is this does not have a key to help you get your mythic. So if you're a free-to-play player and you're pushing towards a mythic especially, or you're just pay-to-pay player that kind of plays casually, you're trying to get your mythic this season, and you want all your sigils to go towards that as best as possible, this is not a branch I would bother with. The rewards are not overly convincing that it's a must-get branch, but if you do have some extra sigils on hand and you think you might have a little extra sigils, you can claim those first couple prizes because it's a good chunk of rune dust and chisels for the cost, and you can do that on all 3 separate branches. So that's definitely something to consider. But as far as going for this rune, it is a decent rune, but there are a lot of decent runes in the game, and all the seasonal divine dragons come with runes that go for them as well. But getting better runes that are generic for other dragons or that simply have HP and attack, and in fact, because this one has both HP and attack, it is unique and it does have some advantages, but I don't think it's going to make or break an account if they have it or not. So as far as whether or not I'm going to complete this branch myself, I don't think so, because I don't think that the runes are going to have a big impact on my account, especially since I don't really invest much in runes on my dragons overall. But I definitely do think I'm going to invest in the rune dust and chisels on those first 2 prizes on all 3 of the branches, because that is not that much of a cost for the amount of rune dust and chisels you get. So let me know in the comments if you plan on getting this branch, what you think about the layout overall and the value of the prizes and runes. And I'm sure all of us can agree it really sucks that they don't have a key. I wish that they had an option to claim a key, even if it was another extra 1,000 sigils, because at least the 4,700 sigils you invest prior to that are in progress towards a key. But despite that, I don't think it is a horrible branch overall. So let me know what you think. Good luck, and I will see you in the next video.